what you got. Oh, I can't see tomorrow. Gotta live, try to get a little wiggle room, the rest don't stop. Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Trying to make a dollar, flip it like it's vinyl. Trying to make a way. What's it worth to you if the price too high? Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Give me your best. I won't tell you nothing less, cause I'm giving you 100. How you always leaving me with nothing? I'm not impressed. It's gonna take more than this, cause I'm giving you 100. And I don't even know if I can trust you for nothing.
Try this again. Good morning, y'all. How's everybody this day off winning now? Man, she just starts the day off winning. Winning, and winning some more. Hang on one second, y'all. Let me get this figured out. All right, here we go. Michelle, good morning. Kristen, I sound like a robot. Audio's no good. Let me click this off real quick. All right, how does that sound? Does that sound better? So now I'm coming through the computer now instead of my AirPods. Does that sound better? Good, much better. Okay. All right. I'm gonna re-hook up the AirPods and see if this helps. See if this changes it. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is this any better? Or am I back crazy again? Is that better? Thumbs up, yes, no, maybe so. Alex Martin, you hadn't been here so long, girl. They lost your name. The last time, okay, perfect. Yeah, that's sometimes the Bluetooth didn't hook up right. Okay, good. Let's get going. Alex Martin's here, y'all. Alex Martin is in the house. Although I do miss my top of the morning that you used to give me. So you're going to have to give me a top of the morning greeting. Alex Martin's greeting was top of the morning. So I always knew that she was in a good mood when she came in with the top of the morning. Good morning, y'all. It's Friday. Good gracious, it's Friday. I don't know why I've been so tired the last 3 days. I mean, I am pooped the last 3 days, fighting these mornings. But y'all, I'm so proud of Michelle and Jared Tilson. I'm proud of Kristen. I'm obviously proud of all of y'all, but every one of you, Vanessa, who's kind of trying to hang on, maybe letting go a little bit, but I think she's still hanging on. Jenny Martin is doing a great job. This 75 hard thing, y'all. For all of you who are hanging in there and doing it, I had a conversation last night because, of course, when I walk into the hockey rink with my water jug, everybody's like, dude, what are you doing? And like before, now they understand what I'm doing. And so, yeah, Vanessa made it first. She's in the door first. She starts her day winning every morning. Now she's trying to get in the door first. But of course, now everybody asks me, all the hockey dads ask me, so what day are you on? What day are you on? What day are you on? So now it's becoming kind of a big deal. And they all ask me to explain it. And last night, I walked in, I'm like, man, I got 29 days left. And so one of the dads asked me, said, so what are you going to do after the 29th day? And I went, I'm not real sure. I said, I don't think I'm going backwards. I don't think I'm going to stop. I think I'm going to keep this thing going. I just don't think will it be to the degree that I'm doing it now? Will it be the same way that I'm doing it now? Will it be 2 workouts a day? But I don't think it will. I told him, I said, this is one thing I know for sure. I'm going to eat pizza again. But again, I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to go. I weighed myself yesterday and I weighed 203 pounds. I'm not interested in gaining 25 pounds again, but we'll see. I'm not doing that, I promise. But I think Michelle, I mean, you guys can talk. Michelle, you and Jared can speak to this, but I think it's really been a lifestyle change. I think it's been something that has, which is funny. I think that's the call this morning is going to be in that vein. I think this is it's a lifestyle change. It is something that has now taken, the habit has been created and the momentum has been created and the expectancy has been created. And now here's where we are. So, but let's get rolling. My name's Aaron Dwyer, and my wife, Christy Dwyer, and I own Exit Realty Lake Country. And every single morning we get together with a group of agents. This started about a year ago. And every single morning, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern, we get together with our agents and share love and laughter and light and hopefully some motivation and get their day off to a good start by creating a really good morning. So we want to be a part of their morning routine. And through a good morning routine, we know we have got a very good shot of making a really good day. And if we can string enough good mornings together and make enough good days to create enough good weeks and let the weeks create enough good months to make enough good years, we can create some success and some joy in our lives. So if you're joining us on a platform, maybe not here this morning, and welcome, we're glad you're here. But if you are with us this morning, we do ask that you throw your name in a chat. Just let us know you're here and interact with us. Put some comments in there and let us know you're here and let us know that you're participate in the call, I guess is what I'm saying. So good morning and welcome to everybody. Good morning, Erica Macklin. She snuck in there. Michelle Tilson, what do you mean day 76 is a whole cheat day, and then we'll go back to it during the week? Is that in the thing? I'm completely thrown for a loop right now. Oh. Day 6. Sorry, my brain's not working. Day 76 is a cheat day. Then we'll go back to it during the week. Gotcha. You think you'll go back to the full thing, like the 2 workouts a day and do all that? I mean, I guess you could. I mean, the way I'm doing my stuff right now is I'm trying to get a workout in before the call. So I'm trying to get my first workout in before I even do this call. Good morning, Casey. Hey, bring the kids up. Michelle Tilson, Violet, she likes to be on the calls every now and again. Michelle's daughter, she'll come and watch it. Some of Alex's kids will see it in the car sometimes when they go to school. I think are all kids out of school? I think my kid, Jagger, is the only kid I've got that's got school today. Everybody else is out of school today. But Robertson County was sending them to school. Y'all, it's Friday, y'all. Let's get rolling. We're gonna head to Boston later today, and so we'll be in Boston tonight, this evening, and tonight. Hopefully, I can get an earlier flight. We scheduled a late flight because I thought Jagger was going to have to be in school, and but now that he's not in school, I'm trying to figure out how we can get to Boston a little bit earlier. I'd love to do some stuff today in Boston. It'd be cool. I love Boston. Let's get going, y'all. So we're on day number 12, I believe, in Grant Cardone's. If y'all remember, we've been going through the last Grant Cardone's 32 things that successful people do that unsuccessful people don't do. And we're on day 12. So we're on number 12. And number 12 is always say yes. Always say yes. Now, I'm going to put that in some quotations. Always say yes. Because raise your hand if you've got a people-pleasing spirit. I'm one right here. And a lot of times when we have a people-pleasing spirit, we have the propensity, we have the sometimes the gear where we'll overcommit. We tell too many people yes. If somebody asks us something, we will do that thing, even though it's taking away from our mission, taking away from our goal, taking away from what we should be doing individually and personally. We will say yes to other people. We will put other people's needs, desires, wants, and sometimes even their whatevers in front of our own. And so if you're a people pleaser like me and you don't like disappointing people, and because I carry some emotional baggage with disappointing other people, I will extend myself further than I should. I will tell my kids yes when I should tell them no. I will tell my wife yes when I should tell her no. I will tell my friends yes when should tell them no. I will tell other people yes when I should tell them no, when I should be protecting my peace and doing what I need to do to get myself to the next level. I will tell other people yes. So that's my disclaimer. That's my caveat. You have to be very, very careful and be very discerning in the things that you say yes to. Okay. So that's my disclaimer. And if my wife was here, she would definitely agree with what I'm saying. Matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to send Christy a link just in case she's up this morning and listening. I know her dad and mother-in-law are in town, or dad and stepmom are in town, so I don't know. So when I'm saying always say yes, here's kind of where I'm going with this. This is my interpretation of always say yes. Number 12 out of 32, Grant Cardone's 32 things successful people do that unsuccessful people don't. This is from his book 10X. If you've not read 10X, you've not read the 10X rule by Grant Cardone, I'm going to tell you it is a book you should read. It is a book you should put on your list to consume this year, because what 10X is all about. 10X is all about effort. 10X is all about upping everything. 10X is about upping your expectations of yourself. 10X is about upping your goals. 10X is about expanding your vision. 10X is about putting 10 times more effort in than what you're doing right now. 10X is expecting 10 times more from yourself than you would expect of yourself right now. 10X is live a 10 times better life than you're living right now. It is upgrading your expectations, upgrading your vision, upgrading your circles, upgrading the people you hang out with, upgrading your conversations. Everything is 10 times better. Y'all, this is the fact of, if y'all listen to the, and I don't know if you did, I'm telling you, you got to take this for the ground. And this is my warning to you. I put a podcast on the group page yesterday evening, that Michelle had sent to the 75 Hard group. And that Andy Frisella is the guy that created 75 Hard. Well, that podcast episode, he was talking about his visualization and where he came from and where he is now, and his process of visualization, and how he saw things that weren't there, and how he wrapped his mind around the belief that we have the ability to cause the effect. It's not cause and effect, but we can cause the effect. We can see in our mind before we see in reality. We can create the picture in the motion picture screen of our minds. We can create the picture that we want to see in reality. And a book called The Secret, that he said is where it started. And this book, The Secret, I'm going to tell you a story. And this is a fairly painful time in my life. So I'd gotten my first divorce. And when you say you've gotten your first divorce, you know you're really bad at being married, because that implies that you've had a second divorce and or subsequent divorces. So that means that my husband's skills are probably were lacking at that point. Not to say that they're not lacking now. But I was going through a hard time. That was a tough time in my life. I had lost everything. I mean, when I say I've lost everything, I walked into the house that I lost before I lost it, and my soon-to-be ex-wife had come back into the house and taken the refrigerator. She had taken the stove. She had taken the microwave. She had taken, what else did she take? Had no appliances in the kitchen. She had cut the ceiling fans out of the ceiling and laid them in the floor. They had taken a sponge or something and written things on the wall upstairs in the hallway. And I got there like 2 a.m. I still had my kids. I still had every other weekend with my kids. I still had time that I had with my kids. And for a period of, 3 months, trying to generate income, trying to make enough money to have enough money to pay the bills, to pay child support, to do all the things I had to do, and now buy new appliances for 3 months. I would wake up in the morning and have to turn on the grill. They didn't take the grill. Luckily, I had a grill. And I would go out on the back porch, and I would take pans on the back porch, and I would cook my kids scrambled eggs. I would make their breakfast on the grill in the morning. And I had a cooler in the kitchen that I would keep all the things in to feed the kids. And I did that for quite a while. It was a very tough time in my life. So when I finally lost that house after that divorce, I went and lived with a buddy of mine. And you talk about this Andy Frisella story that he told yesterday in this podcast, how hard it hit me. He, at 26, had to go back and live with his dad. At 26, he tried to start a business, wasn't making enough money, and had to go back and live with his dad. In 2008, I was 26. Wow, that's crazy. So in 2008, this is probably 2006. I was probably 24, 25. And it was awful. I had nothing. I had zero. I had nothing. The clothes on my back and a little bit of furniture. I didn't have much. It was terrible. Terrible time in my life. Well, I went and lived with a buddy of mine because I was going to get a job to go across overseas to go work in Iraq, to go train Iraqi police officers with the State Department. That didn't work out. I had to come back home. Well, through that process, I hooked a buddy of mine up with a company called MPRI, and MPRI was sending ex-law enforcement guys over to be with Marines in Iraq to go do missions with them. They were paying them good money. That was the thing back in 2006, 2007, 2008. If you were in law enforcement, you could go over there and make $130,000, $140,000 a year cash, and then come back and then go back and do it again. So I got my buddy hooked up with MPRI. So he was going to Iraq, and he said, well, why don't you just come live at my house, take care of my health, come take care of my house while I'm in Iraq, and you can just live there. And I'm like, okay, cool. So at 24, 25 years old, good morning, Facebook user, whoever that is. So I went back and lived with him. And on the toilet in his bathroom was this little bitty book. And on the book was on the front cover of the book was the title, The Secret. Now, I had been studying mindset from the superficial place of mind over matter, from the superficial place of when I got on the police department, I could go run 7 or 8 miles. I could go run 8 or 9 miles. I could go do these big, long runs. And I would have this mental acuity and this mental thing that I'd just tell myself, I know it hurts, but you got to keep going. So I had a rudimentary understanding of mind over matter. I had a very brief and childish understanding of how your mind can help you through things. I'd studied the SEALs and I'd read a lot of stuff about Navy SEALs and even fancied myself wanting to be a SEAL when I was 22 or 23 years old. But on the back of this dude's toilet in his bathroom was a little bitty book. And the title of the book was The Secret. And I'd go to the bathroom, I'd read this book, and I'd start reading it. And I'd keep reading it. And it was about visualization. It was about the law of attraction. It was about the power of the universe and how we as individuals have the ability to set things in motion and in our mind, in the motion, on the motion picture screen of our mind, we have the ability to create for ourselves these visions and to create these visions in reality. And it was based in scripture, and they would pull things out from these people from the 1900s and the 1800s and Napoleon Hill and all these different people. And The Secret really was the beginning of me and my journey to where I'm at now. Where now I study the law of attraction. Now I have studied the theory of expectation. I have studied the power of visualization to understand that we have the ability to create our reality. We have the ability to cause the effect of our reality. We are not a ship blown in the wind, and that we're just every single day we just go through our lives to be beat around by the circumstances, and then we have to react to the circumstances that are created. No, we have the ability, you have the ability to create your circumstances. We have the ability, and you have the ability through a disciplined, purposeful, consistent approach. You have the ability to create this reality that you live. Kristen, I do not remember who wrote that book. Let me look it up real quick. I'll look it up real quick. Hang on. If you've never read The Secret, it is a little small book, and it is absolutely it will put you on the journey. So on this Rhonda Byrne. The Secret is by Rhonda Byrne, Byrne. Excuse me, y'all. But Andy Frisella on this podcast yesterday said that's the book that started his journey. And he thought it was hocus pocus. He thought it was bull crap. He thought it was some mystical blah, 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 blah. But I want you to understand, the Bible is the same thing. The Bible says you have not because you ask not. The Bible says if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can do what? You can move a mountain. So there's so many different things in the Bible that talks about your ability. When Jesus left, when he ascended, after his death, when he came back and talked to the disciples, he told the disciples, now that I'm leaving you with the Holy Spirit. You are going to have the ability through the Holy Spirit to do more than I did. The Holy Spirit is going to allow you to do more than I've done. But somewhere along the way, we've lost the ability to believe in our own individual power. We have been duped and hypnotized into believing that we have no control over what happens on the outside of us. And I'm telling you right now, that ain't true. It's just not true. The truth is you're more than a conqueror. The truth is you were born in God's image. The truth is you were created in his likeness. The truth is that you wake up every single day with the ability to say yes to everything that you want in your life. You wake up every single day with the ability to find a way to make things work. You wake up every single morning with the ability to create the circumstances that you want to have in your life. You have the ability to drive the car you want to drive, be married to the person you want to be married to, have the money in the bank you want to have in the bank, have the transactions that you want to have the life that you want to lead, go on the vacations you want to go on vacation. You have the ability to say yes and to create the circumstances and to create the things around you that you want to see. You have that ability. And if I could ever get you to believe that, if I could ever get that to click in your spirit, to click in your heart, where you wake up every single day, like Michelle Tilson wakes up every single day now, and it's day 76, or day 45, day 47, day 1, day 3. She wakes up every single day now saying, yes, I'm going to get through this day. She wakes up every single day and says, yes, I'm going to get 2 workouts done. I'm going to drink a gallon of water. I'm going to read a book. She wakes up every single day and says, yes. And guess what the day does? The day makes opportunities for her to make those things happen. Michelle, is that not true? She wakes up with an attitude of yes. She wakes up with an attitude of yes, I'm going to get this done. And amazingly, the day provides her opportunities to get the things done. Successful people have the ability to say yes. Successful people say yes to themselves, not to other people. They say yes to themselves. They say, yes, I'm going to get better. Yes, I can do more. Yes, I can be stronger. Yes, I can be smarter. Do you guys understand this? That life and your ability to be happy hinges more times than not on you challenging yourself to do something more. I want you to think about something. In your life, when do you feel the most fulfilled? In your life, when do you feel the most fulfilled? When do you feel the best about yourself? And put your comments in there. I want you to, this is the interactive portion of the show. Put your comments in there. In what way, when do you feel the best about yourself? I'm going to wait. So y'all, I'm not going to talk. These are the last words I'm going to say until y'all start putting some comments in there. Anyone? Anybody there? Come on, let's go, guys. Interact. Okay. Casey says, when I'm being productive. Kristen Ritchie, when I've overcome a challenge, or the other side of that, knowing that she did the hard thing. What else? When do you feel the best about yourself? When I serve other people. Vanessa Self. Alex, Michelle, when do y'all feel the best about yourself? When you do what you took, when you do the thing that you're supposed to do, right? Michelle said, when I've had a hard day, still got everything done that need to be done. And now she's home and enjoying sitting on the couch with her family, or enjoying her time with her family. Erica Macklin, you still here? Did you leave? When do you feel the best about yourself? Because here's the thing. When we are pushing, when we are learning, when we are challenging ourselves, when we are doing the hard things and we accomplish that thing, we're on the other side of that thing. There's an exhalation. There's this, did it. Y'all, I pat myself on the butt because I can't reach my back. So I will pat myself on the butt when I get something hard done. When I get out and get that run done and I don't feel like doing it. When I get that workout done when I don't feel like doing it. Because I promise you, in the last, how many days are we on, Michelle? 47, 48, 49, something like that. There have been a couple of days and a couple of mornings and a couple of nights. And when I say a couple, that's in quotations because it's been more than a couple, where I've not felt like doing it. Where my legs have felt heavy, where I don't feel like going to the gym at midnight. Y'all, I drove back from Georgia the other night. I had to sit on a stationary bike until 10 after 12 because I had to get that second workout. And you think I wanted to do that? Hell no. Absolutely not. But when you are accomplishing something, when you are doing something you haven't done, when you're learning a new skill, when you're putting yourself in a position, human nature loves to be challenged. And in that challenge, we derive happiness. Human beings, one of the components of being happy, this is a study, one of the components of being happy is challenging yourself, learning new things, learning a new skill. Putting yourself in a position to accomplish something. That is a singular great component of being happy. Without a doubt. And I look back, Kristen, and I go, gosh, dang it, I'm proud of you. Y'all, you've got to get in the habit of telling yourself how proud you are of yourself. Because one of my best memories when I was a kid, is my dad looking at me and saying, son, I'm proud of you. Kind of gets me in my feels a little bit. Sorry. That's one of my best memories growing up. I don't know who just said that. Oh, Adam. Okay. Yep. That's a good example, dude. That Adam said when he sees, I can't read. I'm trying to read them. My eyes are leaking a little bit. Sorry, y'all. Adam said, when I see my kids want to help others, man, that's a good example, dude. That's good. That's parent leadership right there. That's good stuff. We have a hard time telling ourselves we're proud of ourselves. We have a hard time looking at ourselves in the mirror and saying, man, I love you and I'm super proud of you, dude. But do you understand that you have got to be your biggest fan? Do you understand you've got to be the one who supports you more than anybody else? You got to learn to say yes to you. You got to learn to say yes to you. You got to learn to say yes to you. I think it's a Southern thing, man. We grow up in the South and we are so friendly and we are so happy most of the time. And we are so affable and we're so congenial and we're so hospitable. And as a Southerner, it's not right to offend other people. So instead of telling somebody what we believe about them, we say, bless your heart. Instead of telling somebody what we truly feel, we make up some, this is a big word. I wish Christy was here to hear this word, but I don't think it's right. I'm not going to use it. We make up some story where we make up something where we'll say, bless your heart. Bless your heart. But we ought to say, you're a dumbass. That's what we ought to say, but we don't. We say, bless your heart. We ought to call people out on their dumbassery instead of saying, bless your heart. But as Southerners, we're just friendly folks. That's why people love it in the South, because we're also dang friendly. Chick-fil-A was started in the South, and their tagline is my pleasure. You ever been to a Chick-fil-A where somebody doesn't say my pleasure? And when they don't do it, you go, are you new? Right? We always, Casey, I promise you, sweetheart, it is every one of us. It is all of us. We all do it. But that turns into saying yes to things we shouldn't say yes to. That turns into not having enough boundaries in our lives, not having enough boundaries in our individuality to say no to people that we need to say no to. It creates the situation where we move through our life in this we kind of meander through our life, saying yes to folks we shouldn't say yes to. We look up and we're 50 and we look back and go, man, I wish I would have. Gosh, this is so good. I heard this yesterday. I'm glad this came to my mind. Jim Rohn, y'all know I love Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said, you get two choices. You have two choices, two things to endure. Because life always gives you this intersection. I'm gonna find this quote, because now that I opened that can of worms, I can't remember it exactly, and it needs to be said exactly, or it's not going to have the same impact. So let me get the quote. Let's see. I love Google. Google's such a great thing. Oh, if I can spell. Sorry, y'all. I need my glasses. This is so good. Y'all ready? Y'all buckle up for this one, because this is a good one. Jim Rohn says, and it's R-O-H-N. And if you're not listening to Jim Rohn stuff on YouTube in the mornings, at some point during your day, you're missing out. He says we must all suffer from one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. I'm going to let that sink in just a little bit. We must all suffer from two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is, discipline weighs ounces and regret weighs tons. We must all suffer from two pains: the pain of regret or the pain of discipline. The difference is, the pain of discipline weighs ounces and the pain of regret weighs tons. That's why it's so important for you to say yes to you. That's why it's so important for you to be disciplined in your approach to every single day. That's why it's so important for you to be disciplined around what you think, the people you associate yourself with, what you do on a regular basis. If you're exercising, you should be. If you're not eating right, you should be. If you're watching things you shouldn't watch, quit. If you're on TikTok too much, quit. Social media, all these things that you do during the day. All these things you do during the day that aren't serving you, the pain of regret weighs tons. Weighs tons. Where the pain of discipline weighs ounces. Saying no to something in the moment. Saying no to getting in the bed when I get home from a drive to Georgia, and saying yes to sitting on a stationary bike for 45 minutes. Saying no to eating a pizza. Saying yes to having a banana. Saying no to wanting to sit home and I don't feel like going out and running in the cold weather, but saying yes to going out and running. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Kristen, go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube. All these calls, y'all, if you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel, spread the word. Every one of these videos go on YouTube every single morning. We have an Exit Realty Lake Country YouTube channel. Every single one of these videos are on YouTube, and you can share this video with every video from the last year is on YouTube. Every single one of them. So you can go in, click that link, share that link to who we're going to share it to. If you like these videos and these calls in the morning and you want to share, Kristen asked me, how can she share? Just click the link and share with people. Just go to YouTube and share it. Okay? Just go. And also go freaking subscribe to the channel. Let's create a movement here, y'all. Drop a pebble in the water and watch the ripples go. The opportunity that we're creating in this company, the opportunity that Christy and I are creating in this, it's. I'm not sure you've done this yet, or if you're paying attention. I know most of you are. You ought to look over the top of the box real quick and just take a peek around, because your world's about to change. And it's going to change in this direction from right here to up here. We're on a rocket ship. And I just want you to understand that. We're on a rocket ship right now. So I need you to kind of peer up over top of the box top. The lid's off the box. We open up the box top and the lids come off. And so we can see the sky. And now you just kind of look over the edge and learn to say yes. Say yes to yourself. Find a way to make it work. Christy loves this. And y'all, this is a gift. I wish she was here. This is a gift that Christy has. How many of you see a difficult situation? And Adam, you're probably in the same boat that I am, dude, because you're a guy. I know me as a guy, me as a man. I have got my perception of the way things ought to look and the way things ought to work. And when something doesn't work exactly that way, it bothers me. It creates a negative emotion in my spirit. And I begin to start bitching about the fact that it's not looking the way I want it to look. I start complaining about the fact that it's not going the way I want it to go. I start saying, well, if it's not going to be the way I want to do it, then I'm not going to do it. It's just too much. And so my tendency is to, and I think it's a man thing, is I tend to think in a box. And I tend to think in a box a certain direction. And when those things don't start, when the circumstances of life don't line up with my thinking, then I start to divert from the process and I divert from the path that I should have been on. Christy is the exact opposite. Christy is the eternal, let's find a way to make this work. Let's find a way to say yes. Instead of all the things you can say no to, let's find one little thing we can say yes to and build off of that. Successful people say yes. Successful people have yes spirits. Successful people find ways to make things work. I wish I had this Cat Williams video, but there's a Cat Williams video where he goes through this whole thing. Y'all know I think Cat Williams he's funny and he's hilarious and he's all these things from a human standpoint that we would think were negative. But this guy, Cat Williams, is super smart. To smoke as much weed as he smokes and to do as much that he does, he's actually like a funny philosopher. His comedy is built around some really cool principles. And one of the things he talks about, it's the same thing Steve Morris says. Steve Morris says, try, fail, adjust. Try, fail, adjust. Try, fail, yes. Try, mess it up, say yes. Find a way to say yes. Cat Williams says the same thing. He says, that's what life is. Life gives you situations and you go, won't work, try again. Go, won't work, try again. We'll go, won't work, try again. Every now and again, life wants to challenge us in a way multiple times, over and over again, to see how committed we are to the end. Life has a way of presenting challenges to us, to create adversity to us, for us, to build grit. I heard this word said yesterday, to build grit in us. We have to experience the adversity. We have to get the blisters on our hands to create the calluses. Now, stubbornness is completely different. Stubbornness is completely different. Being focused on your goal, being disciplined on your path, being able to say no to people who get you out of The ability to say no to people who will pull you off of your plan and pull you off your path, that is a gift. That is stubborn. But stubbornness, in the way that I feel that word that you just said, Casey, that's like a donkey being stubborn, right? That we're going to, exactly what I'm talking about. This is the way I want it done. And if it's not going to be done this way, then it can't be done. And Christy comes in and says, Aaron, there's 15 other ways that this can be done. It doesn't have to be done this way. Christy, I can't put up those boards. I don't have my nail gun. Well, go to the store, buy you another nail gun. Go get you a hammer and some nails. Hell, use glue. I promise you, there's another way to make this work. Christy is a magician. I've heard her do it on the phone with hotel reservations. Driving down the road, making hotel reservations, because we don't do anything pre-planned. It's always spur of the moment. And she's making hotel reservations. And she's like, I know you got a room in there. Ma'am, I know we don't have anything for you. We don't have anything for you. Persistence, dogged determination is a better word. Dogged, I like determination. When you have determination, when you determine your path, when you determine that you're not getting pulled off your path, and you've determined that you're going to make it work come hell or high water, it's just what I said earlier. Michelle Tilson is determined every single day when she wakes up, she's getting her 75 hard done. When she wakes up every single day, she's knocking that day out. And because she's determined to make that happen, the universe, the world, God, everything around her conspires to help her make that happen. Everything around her lines up to help her accomplish that what she's determined to accomplish. Persistence gets you there. Consistency keeps you there. Successful people say yes. Christy will be on the phone with a hotel person and she'll say, ma'am, sir, I get all the reasons. I've heard her say these exact words. I get all the reasons why you're telling me no. And I am just looking for a way and one little spot where you might be able to tell me yes. And if you don't have that yes in your position, if a yes is not possible, is there any way that you could get me to somebody else who has the ability to tell me yes? Because that's all I'm looking for, is I'm just looking for somebody to say yes. Because I get all the ways you can say no. I get all the reasons why it won't work. I have a complete understanding of that. I just need one little crack. I need one little spot. You can tell me yes. And y'all, in your sales presentations, in your listing presentations, in your buyer presentations, if you will wrap your mind around, instead of all the ways and all the reasons for them to tell you no, if you can just find one spot for them to tell you yes and build off that yes into the next yes and build off that yes into the next yes. Y'all, that is a sales technique. You ever been to a car dealership and the car dealer and the dude you're talking to, the salesman, just wants you to say yes one time? Because do you know that psychologically, as soon as you say yes once, your proclivity, there's my big word for the day, your proclivity to say yes again raises exponentially. And as soon as you say yes twice, the third yes comes easier than the first yes. And you start building yeses on top of the other yeses. Because if a car salesman can get you to say yes to something simple, he has opened the door to a positive receptor in your brain to say yes again. So when the car salesman looks at you sitting across the desk like this, with your arms folded and your body language in a complete no state, when that car salesman looks at you sitting across the table with a complete shut off personality, he's going to ask you questions to get you to say yes. And as soon as you start saying yes, here's what you do. Yes. Yes. And you start to engage, you start to lean up, you start to engage with him. And when you say yes to a car salesman twice, he knows he's got you. So in your sales presentations, you need to build your sales presentations around yes. Your for sale by owner scripts ought to be built around getting small yeses. When you're door knocking, you ought to be door knocking with the thought behind it. You're just going to get small yeses from them, and you're going to build on the small yeses. You're not trying to get the listing appointment in the first conversation. You're just trying to get them to say yes. Do they agree with you? Just try to get them to say yes. Do they agree with you? Successful people say yes. They look at life from a yes position. They look at themselves from a yes position. They look at what they're doing from a yes position. They have a dogged determination, a persistence, and a consistency to say yes over and over and over again. Successful people say yes. So today, try my theory out. Don't go buy a car unless you just want to go buy a car. I wish I had this script, y'all. I'm telling you, I promise you, this is a neuro-linguistic pattern. How about that? Neuro-linguistics, right? Another big word. When I sold Blue Ribbon Foods, when I worked for that company, Blue Ribbon Foods, when I got into sales, we had a script. And in that script, we had to learn, there was like a 33-page script, and you had a whole thing. 33-page script, I had to memorize it word by word. And the reason we had to learn it word by word, word for word, was because in that script were built these little things to make them say yes, to make them agree with us throughout the process. And we would innocuously get them to agree on things that really didn't matter in the beginning and say yes to the things that really didn't matter. And we would do that over and over and over again, so that when we got to the point where it was time for them to make the decision, press really hard because you're making 3 copies and write me a check, they'd already said yes so many times that saying yes at the end was just like, of course I'm going to say yes. Casey says, I guess in my experience, when I'm persistent in something I really want, listen to what she's done. Listen, I want y'all to look at these words. Did we lose everybody? We lost it. Where'd everybody go? We're down to 4 people. Read this. I guess in my experience, when I am persistent in something I really want, people have said I was too stubborn to take no for an answer. Stop listening to other people. Stop building your life on other people's opinions. We've got to stop gathering our worth and gaining our worth from other people's opinions. Got to stop. Casey, here's what matters. When you get off this call, you need to walk in your bathroom, shut the door, turn the light on, and you need to tell yourself how proud of you are. You need to walk in the bathroom and you need to give yourself some words of encouragement. You need to walk in the bathroom, look at yourself in the mirror, and tell yourself how much you love yourself. It's called mirror work. Google it. You get on YouTube and search mirror work. There are people who actually teach standing in front of a mirror and talking to themselves. Y'all remember Saturday Night Live and Stuart Smalley? We made fun of this back in the 80s because we said it was all new agey. And Stuart Smalley would sit by the mirror and he'd say, I love myself, and doggone it, people like me. And he would talk to himself in the mirror. But there's something psychological about that. There's something psychological about you being your biggest fan. There's a psychological benefit. There's an emotional benefit. It releases not neurotoxins. It releases endorphins and things in your head, because when my dad said he was proud of me, it made me all gushy inside. It released chemicals in my brain that made me feel like I was doing good. I don't know enough about the brain science to tell you which chemicals they are. It could be serotonin, it could be melatonin, could be ribitolin. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. All I know is when my dad told me he was proud of me, it made me feel good. And it made me all gushy inside. What if you every single day you woke up and you patted yourself on the back, you patted yourself on the butt, and you said, good job, buddy. Those days I don't feel like running and I get finished and I push the button on my watch to say I'm done, and it says I've run 49 minutes. It says I've run a 11-minute mile. It says I've done 4.5 miles or 5 miles, and I didn't feel like doing anything. I pat myself on the butt and I say, good job, buddy. I'm going to be my biggest supporter. I'm going to support myself more than anybody else. I'm going to be my biggest fan. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you loving yourself the most. Successful people say yes. Successful people find ways to make it work. Successful people look for opportunity in every single challenge. Successful people look for the positive benefits of the discipline. Successful people look for the end result, and I just got to keep going. Successful people have a dogged determination to see it through to the end. Successful people won't quit when it gets hard. They quit when they win. I told you, I've got that sign in my kid's room. That sign's above his door. It says champions don't quit when they're tired. Champions quit when they win. Les Brown talks about that. You ever heard Les Brown speak? He talks about that. Winners don't quit when they tire. They don't quit until they win. You can't beat somebody who won't give up. Say yes to winning. Only accept the best. 10x your expectations of yourself. 10x the effort you're willing to give. 10x your goals. If you were thinking you want to make $100,000 this year, 10 times that. What if you don't make $1 million? What if you only make $300,000? Set your goal to make $1 million. I know that sounds crazy. Y'all, $1 million in the real estate business is not hard to make. I can break $1 million in commission down for you pretty easily. And I can show you how possible it is for you to make $1 million. I can show you how simple and easy, simple, not easy, how simple it is to make $500,000 or $600,000 a year. I could show you and break it down for a number, and I could break it down and show you how many people you need to talk to every single day to make $600,000 a year. And let's say you don't make $600,000. Let's say you miss it by 50% and you only make $300,000 this year. Would a $300,000 year change your life? Would $300,000 in your pocket change your life? If you were to string a $300,000 a year together with a $400,000 a year together, with a $500,000 a year together, another $600,000 a year together, would that change your life? You've got to look over the box. Set your goals higher. Stop listening to other people's opinions. Stop listening to that little opinion on your shoulder saying you can't do that. That's too much for you. Don't do that. You're just going to disappoint yourself. The reason you don't want to set goals is because if you set goals, you're not going to hit them anyway. And when you set goals, you just get disappointed in that. All that bull, you know what? Stop doing that. Say yes. Find the opportunity to say yes. Find the place you can say yes. Find the place where you're going to be so determined. You're going to be so persistent and so consistent. I don't care if people call me stubborn. My wife has looked at me and said to me, Aaron, all you care about is working out. She said it to me. At about day 21, day 22, it was early on in my 75 hard plan. She looked at me and she said, all you care about is working out. Our entire day, it revolves around you working out. She wasn't happy about it. That was not a happy conversation. And I had to shrug my shoulders and go, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I got to go work out. I'm sorry you feel that way, but I got to go run. Sorry. Now at day 35, 37, 38, 41, she's like, I don't care how tired you are. Get your butt up and go. Get off the couch and go do it. Go do it. You need to get up earlier and go do it. That's what she's doing now. Now she's encouraging me to do it. Sometimes our biggest detractors are just waiting to see if we really want it as bad as we say we do. And sometimes our biggest detractors will end up being our biggest supporters when we show that we're disciplined and consistent and determined and stubborn to reach our goals. Sometimes these people throw shots at us just to see if we really mean what we say. And they will shift at some place in the process and be our biggest supporters and be our biggest cheerleaders and be our biggest fans and be our biggest protectors. I promise you right now, if somebody came along and told me right now and tried to keep me from getting a workout in, my wife would fight them. If somebody tried to stop me from accomplishing my 75 hard journey, this challenge, my wife would fight them right now. When just 25, 30 days ago, she would have been like, you know what, just quit, just stop. Successful people say yes. Say yes. Say yes to the challenge. Say yes to the pain. Say yes to the discomfort. Say yes to the say yes to being uncomfortable. Say yes to being uncomfortable. Casey Duncan, right now, you need to say yes to being uncomfortable. It is not comfortable to have conversations with people you don't know. It is not comfortable to pick up the phone and dial people's phone numbers that you don't know. And you can get on YouTube and you can get on Facebook and see all these people that say, no more cold calling, no more cold calling. You don't have to cold call people anymore. No more cold calling, y'all. That's bullcrap. This business is the same as it's been 20 years ago. You have different modes of communication, but you have to reach more people, and you've got to reach more people you don't know. And that means that's a cold call. That's a cold call, and that's a cold call. We've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm trying to integrate these. I have read and I have I've read and I've watched a number of things over the last 48 hours about this cold water thing and about these cold plunges and about taking cold showers and the health benefits, the psychological benefits to putting your body in cold stress. And I'm telling you right now, it sucks. And I'm speaking, I'm telling you, this is what I've got to get through because this is my mind, right? And even as I'm talking about this, I feel the pain in my gut and I feel the sensation in my body of what it feels like to be in a cold shower. I did one yesterday. I did the cold plunge a few days ago. And I'm telling you, the suck level is like a 100. It is like a 100. And I'm trying to get the suck level down to about a 10 or 15. And I have a long way to go to get my mind to embrace the level of suck that takes to do that. But the benefits of doing that far outweigh the suck. Benefits of not eating a pizza far outweigh the pleasure and joy of eating a pizza. Christy, we had lunch yesterday at a place. It was a pizza joint. And I'm on FaceTime, and Christy says, "Are you in a pizza place?" And I went, "Yeah." She goes, "Why?" I said, "Baby, I got this locked down. I got this ish locked down. It doesn't even bother me anymore. I mean, I have gotten to a place in the last 40 days where it doesn't even bother. We could go eat at Papa John's, and I go have a salad. I've got it locked down. It doesn't even bother me. I don't even struggle with it." That's where I want to get with my cold plunges. That's where I want to get with this cold water thing. That's where I want you to get with cold calling people. That's where I want you to get with going out and finding new people to talk to. That's where I want you to get with having good conversations with yourself. Be comfortable in the uncomfortable. Finding a way to be comfortable in the pain. Finding a way to be comfortable and starting to derive pleasure in being uncomfortable. Because as soon as you take away the sting of the discomfort, as soon as you take away the sting, oh death, where is thy sting? You ever heard that before? That's a scripture. Oh death, where is thy sting? I've been born again. If the worst thing that you can do is kill me and I have no fear around death, if the worst thing you can do is take my life from me and I have no concern with losing my life, oh death, where's that sting? That same principle applies to us putting ourselves in positions that are uncomfortable and us doing things that are uncomfortable. Our challenge in life are doing the hard things. And when we do the hard things enough, the crazy thing is, when we do hard things enough, they get easy. When we do the challenging things enough, they get easier. Because the beautiful thing about our bodies, the beautiful thing about our minds, the beautiful thing about our hearts is when we challenge ourselves, our muscles get stronger. I can go do that 45-minute run now, and it feels completely different than it did when I first started. I can go to the gym now, and those weights feel completely different than they did when I first started. When I first started, y'all, this is the way it works. Your mind, you as a human have the ability to adapt and to overcome. You have the ability through the power of a simple word like yes, create opportunity, to create a pathway to success. With the simple word of yes, you have the ability to embrace discomfort, to embrace challenges, to build your muscle, to build your memory, to build your strength, to overcome those things and get you to the next level. You have the ability to look past only want to make $100,000 to want to make $600,000. You have the ability to look past going on vacation in Gulf Shores to going on vacation in the Turks and Caicos. You have the ability to look past the things you've always done to go do something that you've only seen in your dreams. Successful people say yes. Y'all, I've been on here a long time, and I'm sorry, but this was a really, this was the words just kept coming. I couldn't shut it down. I wanted to shut it down in about 30 minutes, but I just couldn't. So I apologize for keeping you late. I apologize if I've rambled on, and this is not. Hopefully you've pulled something out of this Friday call that you can use today, that you can use this weekend, that you can use the rest of your life. I want you to be a yes person. I want you to say yes to the pain. I want you to say yes to the challenge. I want you to say yes to yourself. I want you to say yes to the things that you should be doing to make yourself better. Get on this rocket ship, y'all. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Okay, say yes. Have a great day. Have a great Friday. Thank you, Adam. We're going to have a fantastic time in Boston. I just want to get there earlier so I can go to a couple of places that I want to go to before we have to head out to the burbs. So thank y'all. Love y'all. Be good. Be great. Be you. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye, y'all.